What's up, guys? GP here, back with another episode of the Cannabis Library, and today I have a new type of product, a product that I've never tried before. I'm actually puffing currently on this elephant paper, and it's filled up with some HHC flower. So this HHC flower is on behalf of Urban Bud. And Urban Bud is a company based out of Texas, and I'm excited to work with another Texas company because, of course, I am from Texas, but I'm out here in one of the chillest smoking spots I've had out here in Chicago, and I'm going to let you know how this HHC bud is. So hemp-infused flower has been something that's been out for almost like a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And traditionally, it was Delta 8 flower, and the Delta 8 was combined with alcohol, and that was ran through a sprayer, and that was sprayed into flower onto flower, and that is the traditional way that Delta 8 flower or hemp infused flower has been made. But Urban Bud, who I'm featuring today, has come up with a new way of infusing hemp flower, and I must say, it's a much better way. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk about some of my previous experiences with hemp flower, and I'm going to talk about why Urban Bud is a little bit different. So if any of you guys are familiar with Delta 8 flower, or in the past, Delta 8 flower, if people have infused THCO with flower, if people have infused Delta 10, pretty much all the minor hemp cannabinoids they have now infused into flower. And like I said, traditionally it was combined in a spray, pretty much like a spray machine, and in order to get it kind of runny and viscous enough for it to be able to put in the spray machine, it was put and combined with alcohol, and that makes it viscous enough to spray over the flower or infuse into the flower. And then after that, the alcohol is supposed to evaporate off of there. And that is a process that, if any of you guys have tried the flower, sometimes there's a really For those of you who have tried infused flower before, you know that sometimes the smell can be like strong alcohol or like chemical type smell, and I know that warded a lot of people away from it. You guys see, I almost never talk about it here on the channel, and it warded me away from it. It made me a little bit kind of weary of it. I was like, this is not how bud is supposed to taste. So when Urban Bud hit me up, honestly, I was a little bit skeptical about hitting some of their infused hemp bud because I haven't had a ton of good experiences with it. I really only had a couple brands ever that I really liked, that I felt like did the process right. But when I talked to the owner of Urban Bud, he told me, he was like, we have 2 new processes that no one else is doing, and I was a little bit intrigued. He explained to me that one of those processes is cryogenically freezing the oil and then putting the oil on a very, very thin sheet and then turning that sheet over onto some hemp flower and allowing for the oil to then melt and then drip and infuse itself into the flower. So this is a process that involves no alcohol, no other chemicals or anything like that. It only involves freezing the oil. And I was like, that's some high-tech science shit. Something I definitely would have never thought about. And then another way that has been a better way for Urban Bud to infuse the flower has been literally just to directly apply the oil onto the flower. And I know a lot of you guys do not want any oil mixed in with your flower, and that's okay. But I know a lot of people are used to putting dabs in joints, dabs in blunts. They put dabs on different bowls and stuff like that. So a lot of people aren't too worried about putting oil mixed with flour, but they are worried about chemicals and alcohol being mixed with oil and flour. And so as am I. And so I was very intrigued when I heard that there was a process, or these 2 processes, that can be used without alcohol. And the second process, if I didn't just say it, I'm actually getting kind of high, is to simply paint it on. You can pretty much just apply it to the outside. You can warm up the oil a little bit and then paint it onto the outside of the bud. And then to keep the bud beautiful, they actually roll it in CBG flour, and it really keeps the bud intact. It keeps it beautiful, and it keeps it with that natural hemp taste. So not only has the flower been able to sustain its natural hemp taste, but the sour space candy also is able to maintain a hemp smell. There is a bit of a smell of HHC oil when you open the container, but in no way is it like the Delta 8 flower of the past, where it's like a strong, like chemical alcohol smell. Like sometimes you'll just put your nose into a good amount of Delta 8 flower, and it's like, bro, what is that? And that is not what you get with this. You actually get that hemp smell, that hemp nose that you're used to. So it really tastes a lot more like natural flower than any other hemp flower I've ever had. As you can see with my eyes, it actually is starting to get me pretty lit. I had a decent sized J, and I have another J with me just in case I need it. I might wait till I get back home to puff on that one. I am really enjoying this. Technically, this is legal. You can smoke hemp in public, but I don't want to test the waters too much. Like, I really don't even want to have that conversation with the police officer, if possible. Even if it is hemp that I'm smoking in public, because of the fact that there's that lack of alcohol and oil, it really does probably smell like some decent loud over here. As for the effects, I'm starting to feel them. It's supposed to be a sativa. The sour space candy is supposed to be sativa, but I will say right now I am feeling pretty relaxed. I'm not feeling relaxed as I need to go to sleep, but I'm feeling pretty calm sitting out here by this lake, just enjoying kind of this lily pond over here and smoking this J with you guys. I do have energy. I do feel like I'll be able to go edit this video because it really needs to go out tonight on at least one platform, and I do want to thank you guys for whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's the Grant Patterson or THC library, cannabis library. I'm just trying to stay alive, guys, and I'm trying to keep making content for you guys. These elephant rolling papers have definitely been super smooth. They've been burning pretty easily. And another thing I actually do want to add about this flower is that it didn't mess up my grinder a ton. A lot of times, this infused hemp flower has really messed up my grinder in the past. It's really made it to where I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? My grinder's fucked, and I put flour in there afterwards and it's all sticky. For whatever reason, that did not happen this time. My grinder's still clean. My grinder's still able to grind other flour. Sometimes I've ground up like a couple grams, and then my grinder, I have to do a whole overhaul clean. That's another reason I'm like, man, this might be cool to have another video to do, but damn, I love this grinder. I don't want to fuck it all up. So in conclusion, this HHC flower has definitely been a much better experience than any other hemp-infused flower that I've ever had. I wouldn't say that I would necessarily choose it over Delta 9 flower, but for those of you who don't want to be smoking as heavy as Delta 9 flower, but you want something a little bit heavier for you than just like regular CBD flower, I actually really suggest this HHC infused flower. It's burning well. It's tasting very good, and if I didn't go into the taste enough, it's really tasting, it tastes like hemp CBD flower, which is what I want. I want it to taste like CBD flower because it is CBD flower, and so therefore I'm enjoying that fact, and I'm feeling the effects. This video is a little bit all over the place. It's kind of weird smoking in public, getting set up by the lake, trying to film everything. So I'm just trying to make sure that the video is coming out good and I'm actually staying somewhat coherent. But it is getting me high. Don't get that twisted. I'm feeling the effects of this HHC flower. Guys, it's been GP with another episode. I want to shout out Urban Bud, shout out Texas for coming out with a great hemp product. It's kind of surprising me, honestly, because I kind of given up on hemp flower a lot of ways. Obviously CBD has its lane, but I'm saying in terms of like infused hemp flower, I was like, maybe this product isn't like what it's supposed to be. Like maybe it's just not supposed to be around. But this has definitely kind of redeemed some of my hope in hemp flower and given me an option for something that I like, and even mixed with some Delta 9 I have. If I just want to chill, or if I want to make the Delta 9 I have stretch, I can mix it with that as well. I like being creative. Alright guys, it's been another episode of whatever platform you're watching this on. It's been GP coming to you from the park today. I've really enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.